This video is the fourth video of Learn English at Home and the first video of elementary level. The title is Occupations. Don't forget to subscribe my videos. From now on, my teaching method becomes different. Before, I recorded 3 videos which were introduction videos. In those videos, I explained some important basic information about English language. From this video on, I teach you based on the 4 skills of English language, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. This section is the speaking section. In this section, you learn 3 different conversations about different ways of asking about jobs or occupations. Listen to them carefully and read them as many times as possible until you learn them. There are 3 conversations in this page which are about how to ask for someone's job. Mason: what's your occupation? Grayson: I'm a doctor. Hudson: what's your job? Charlie: I'm a mechanic. Parker: what do you do? Edward: I'm a journalist. In this section, you learn about the grammar or the structure of the sentences which you use for talking about your jobs. When you talk about your job, you use the word for the job. And the words you use for your job are nouns. And I explained about nouns in the introduction videos. Whenever you talk about nouns, you use the verb to be in your sentences. Before, I explained how to make sentences. We make sentences by having a subject, a verb, and a complement or an object. Now, for talking about jobs, which are nouns, we have to use to be verbs. And don't forget that it is in present tense. There are 3 forms of talking about your job. The first form is affirmative, or the common form. Listen carefully. I am. You are. He is. She is. It is. We are. You are. They are. These are the ways you use the verb to be with different subjects. Now, example sentences. I am a teacher. You are an engineer. She is a nurse. He is a journalist. It is a job. We are writers. You are singers. They are musicians. Don't forget using a or an with singular nouns and plural s with plural nouns. In this section, we learn about the negative form of talking about jobs. For example, you want to say, I am not a musician. For making negative sentences, you just add not to am, is, are, which are the forms of to be. Listen. I am not. You are not. He is not. She is not. It is not. We are not. You are not. They are not. Example sentences. I am not a teacher. You are not an engineer. She is not a nurse. He is not a journalist. It is not a worker. We are not writers. You are not singers. They are not musicians. And the question form of making sentences with jobs. For making question, you just change the place of to be, it means am, is, are, with the subjects. It means am I, For example, am I a teacher? Am I? Are you? Is he? Is she? Is it? Are we? Are you? Are they? Example sentences. Am I a teacher? Are you an engineer? Is she a nurse? Is he a journalist? Is it a job? Are we writers? Are you singers? Are they musicians? Don't forget to repeat the affirmative, negative, and question forms as many times as possible until you learn them. I've called this section practice section because in this section you practice what you learn in the grammar or the structure section. You find some worksheets in this section to practice the grammar more. Use the internet and follow the examples to answer the questions. This page is the review of the grammar of a or an, which we studied in introduction videos. In English language, most of the time, whenever we use nouns, we add articles a, an, or the before nouns. Now we study just the articles a or an. Before nouns which start with consonants, we use a. For example, a lamp, a door, a house, a bag, a tomato. And for nouns which start with vowels, we use an apple, an elephant, an ice cream, an orange, an umbrella. In this page, you can see an exercise for a or an. Use a or an for the words in the exercise. You use a for the words which start with consonant letters and an for the words which start with vowel letters. Don't forget that in English language we use a or an for nouns which are only one. As you can see, the exercise of this page is about subject pronouns. We studied pronouns in video 2. We use pronouns whenever we don't use nouns. For example, we use she whenever we don't use my sister. Or we can say we use she instead of my sister. We can use it instead of our car. We can use she instead of my mom. Do the others by yourselves. Replace the underlined words with the appropriate pronouns in the box. Use capital letters whenever necessary. In this page, you can see an exercise for subject pronouns. Another exercise for subject pronouns. Look at number 1. For example, the man went shopping and bought some books. The books were history books. What do you use or which pronoun do you use for the books? Yes, you can say they were history books. So you can say the books were history books or they were history books. Number 2, my sister is studying at the library because my sister has an exam tomorrow. My sister is, yes, she. You can say she has an exam tomorrow. Note that for sentence number 1 or exercise number 1, because they starts the second sentence, the first letter starts with capital letter. But for number 2, because my sister is in the middle of the sentence, you don't need to use capital S for she. Who is he or she? In this exercise, you practice writing a sentence with a job. you complete the sentences for a job. For example, he is a doctor. Here the sentence starts with subject pronoun, to be verb, a or an, and the word for the job. Complete the other sentences and write sentences about the pictures. What do they do? In this exercise, you answer the questions about jobs. Answer the questions. For example, what does your father do? He is a chef. What does your mother do? She is a teacher. Try to write the answers of the questions for the other exercises. This section is about reading or reading comprehension. By reading, we don't mean reading a text. By reading, we mean reading and understanding the text. So, there is a text in the next page. Read it carefully. Use the dictionary whenever it is needed. Understand the meaning of the text and answer the questions about the text. I read this text for you once, then you read it again. Find the meaning of the new words in the dictionary and try to understand the text. Try to read it several times and then answer the questions about the text. Nikki, the car mechanic. Nikki Evans is a car mechanic in London. She was a librarian before. Nikki decided to work with cars. She likes handwork and she wants to be independent. It was not easy for Nikki to become a car mechanic. She attended a skills center, a college where people can learn a new job. She had to attend the classes from 8 in the morning to 5 in the evening. She had just 30 minutes break for lunch. Now Nikki works freelance. She is self-employed. She does not work for a company. Read the text carefully. Answer the questions about the reading text. Number 1. What does Nikki do? Number 2. Where does Nikki work? Number 3. What did Nikki do before? Try to answer these questions as much as possible. It means that you might not know to answer in a full sentence. It doesn't matter, no problem. Write the answers as, for example, 1 or 2 words. Just answer the questions. In this section, you start writing sentences and you practice writing sentences using the grammar of to be and the words for occupation or job. Write a sentence for each job in the photo. Learn the occupation words. You can see many photos about many jobs and you can easily write sentences about jobs. For example, he is a vet. He is a barber. He is a barman, and so on. Homework. First, find the meaning of occupation words of this lesson and write an example for each word. Read them many times and pay attention to the correct pronunciation of each word. And then write down the occupation words of this lesson and make a sentence for each word. This time you write your own sentences about the words. Listen to the conversation several times and then try to write down whatever you hear.
Hi, I'm Anne. I am a student and I am a video designer. What do you do? Listen to this story about meeting new friends and learn how to talk about your occupation in American English. Yesterday I went to a party. I met some new friends there. Hi, how are you? I'm Anne.
Nice to meet you. I'm Julia.
Good to meet you. I'm Tom.
Are you a college student?
Yes, I am. I go to City University. And what do you do?
I work for a software company. I am a computer engineer.
That's great. And what do you do for a living, Tom?
I'm a teacher.
That's nice. Where do you work?
I work at the city high school.
We can talk about our occupations in 3 different ways. One way is I work for plus an organization or person. I work for a construction company. I work for an attorney. Another way is I am a or I am an plus an occupation. I am a nurse. I am a journalist. I am a farmer. We can also say I work at a or I work at an or I work at the plus a place. I work at a hospital. I work at a restaurant. Now it's your turn. What do you do? Tell us about your occupation in the comments. This is American English. Thank you for watching.